Hey, good morning to everybody. A happy Christmas Eve to everybody out there. It's Daryl here. It's about 9 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I've been so busy today already, getting last minute presents, getting things wrapped. Seriously, I've already been to the store and back this morning. Okay, again, I was having a hard time figuring out what I wanted to do for a story today. And people, you guys that have been watching my channel for a long time, maybe you could tell that a lot of times I'm drawn to stories where a lot of times a story will bother me because I don't feel like the way I think I should feel. I'm obviously a liberal, progressive, Democrat, tree hugger, whatever you want to call it, and sometimes, not just with that, but I get something eats at me and I don't feel like I think I should feel. A lot of times it'd be better if I just zipped it and I didn't do a video about it, but this is what I'm getting at. Most of the time, those are the videos I'm drawn to. The ones where I could get a lot of down, even amongst my best viewers. And those are the ones where I just can't keep my mouth shut. I have to share the kind of conflict I'm feeling with you guys. Okay, I'm talking about Kim Potter. Don't get me wrong. Kim Potter, the policewoman, was found guilty, first and second degree manslaughter. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's been a busy morning, and I haven't looked up the various manslaughter, like unintentional or whatever. I'll be honest with you guys, but she's been convicted, and I think she deserves it. It was manslaughter. But this is the thing. Something bothers me about this. Back when George Floyd or Ahmaud Arbery, Ahmaud Arbery, I don't believe they've been found guilty yet. But George Floyd, with Derek Chauvin, I felt a sense of relief. I was so angry and upset. With Derek Chauvin, his facial expressions, everything he did and said, I had that gut feeling that this guy was just a nasty individual that deserves multiple decades in prison. I almost feel like I shouldn't say this, but there's something about Kim Potter. I don't know. I don't know if, it's not the crying, where she was on the stand crying when she was going over her recollections of it. To be honest with you guys, I've always, throughout my whole life, I told you how I grew up with women, my mother and my sister. I felt like the man of the family at 9 years old after my father passed away of brain cancer. And I've always had a closer connection to women. It's the truth. And maybe it's that. There's something about this where I just don't, even though I think she deserves... she should have. What I believe is she should have never had the pistol. She should have never been a police officer. Obviously, if you can make the weight of the pistol versus the weight of the taser, the coloring, all these things, just it was a mistake. That it was calling it a mistake. You almost can't even call it a mistake. It's a horrific. F up. I don't even know what to call it, and she has to be answerable for that. Dante Wright is gone from this earth, and I believe he was a father. There's people it's going to leave a hole in people's lives, and somebody has to be accountable for that. But there's just something about Kim Wright going to jail for 10, 15 years. I think 15 years is the maximum. I'm not saying she doesn't deserve it, but it just doesn't give me that sense of satisfaction. Something about it bothers me. Maybe I'm too compassionate or something. I don't know. Don't get me wrong here, because the people that know me out there, if you look back at my videos, I've been an ardent supporter of Black Lives Matter and all that. But there's, like I said, I'm not saying that Kim Potter... I'm saying she is guilty. She deserved the guilty charge, but she deserves time in jail. But there's just something about this that eats at me. I think it's in her speech, her mannerisms. I watched her eyes when the verdict was pronounced. I always, watch people's eyes. Maybe I'm an empath or something, but you almost feel the fear This woman, I don't want to say I have sympathy for her, because I don't, but I'm conflicted with this one, and part of me says I shouldn't even be making this video, because it goes against everything I've said before, but I just don't feel the same sense of satisfaction as I did with Derek Chauvin and the other officers that have been convicted. All right, let me compare this. So you guys know how I use empathy. What if Dante Wright was driving intoxicated? And what if he fatally hit Kim Potter when she was crossing the road? What kind of charges could we expect there? I know it's hard to find similar comparisons. I would imagine, that 10, 12 years, I think would be an easy one. So then I get angry with myself, because then by that same standard, Kim Wright should, by all accounts, get 12, 14 years, behind bars. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because she's a woman, maybe because she might look like some of my relatives. I don't know. And it bothers me. And I feel like I shouldn't feel this way. I've never had this confliction before. So anyway, I tried to think of a time when I almost accidentally fatally hurt somebody. This is an interesting story. It goes back to when I was 9 years old. I've been thinking about writing a book about this. All right. We went to Florida, me, my mother, and my sister. I was 12 years old. I'm sorry. I was 12 years old. And we went to Wet and Wild Park, a water park. We came back. We were about on the 9th floor. And there was a restaurant down below. We were in the back of a hotel. And my sister and my mother were both exhausted from all the sun that day. And they fell asleep. Now, I'm a kid. I've never been to Florida before. Not that ice machines have anything to do with Florida, but I started messing around. I'd sneak out of the hotel room and go down to the ice machine or the vending machines or whatever while they were sleeping and screw around. And I got this idea. Why don't I just throw ice off the balcony? That'd be fun while everybody's sleeping, right? So I go get a bucket of ice. I go back to the balcony. It starts pouring, and you guys, even if you're not from Florida, you know this. Every day, 3, 4 p.m., there's a downpour. It's sunny, 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 downpour. Sunny, sunny, sunny. This is just every day in Florida. And it started pouring, right? And I keep dropping the ice. As I drop a piece of ice, I see a man 9 stories below all of a sudden come out from the building. And the piece of ice is just going right down. And he was bald. And I just see this piece of ice going right down. And it was a good-sized chunk right down for his head. And I still remember this to this day. I was like, oh, my God. I'm going to, this person's going to be gone. And he kept walking. It looked like he had been a restaurant worker. And he was just getting off his shift. He was wearing all white. And he kept walking, and the piece of ice I saw it hit the ground, the parking lot behind him, and shatter. And he just looked around because it was raining so hard he barely even heard it. And he just kept walking. But that stayed in my mind forever. What if it did hit him? What would have happened to me? It was one of those just instantaneous, one of those instant, one little moment you make a decision, and the worst thing that possibly could happen. Then again, too, I was 12 years old, so there's a lot of differences here. But let me continue with this. I was thinking about writing a book about this. Say it did hit him, God forbid. Say it had hit him, and the ice would have melted, and there would have been no weapon, no way to discern how this person, would. And as the downpour, the ice would have quickly melted. So I was thinking about, what if I wrote a book about when the police come and the person's laying there, the man's laying there, there's no weapon. It would look like maybe he was bludgeoned. Maybe the cops think it would be some kind of robbery or something. So I was thinking about writing a book along these lines where I never told anybody I grew up. And then maybe I start dating the daughter of the guy that I accidentally hit with the ice cube. These are just some stories I had for a novel. I know I went way off track here, guys, but I was trying to, I've been dying to talk about both these things. So you'll have to excuse me for this. But anyway, seriously, Kim Potter, she deserves to be found guilty of manslaughter. She deserves time in jail. Dante Wright is gone from this earth, leaving a huge gaping hole. Having lost somebody recently, I know how much losing just one person just leaves this boom, this ripple effect in people's lives. And even if it was unintentional, she has to be held accountable because she took an oath as a police officer. Maybe she should go around the country and talk to other rookies and people graduating from the police academy. That might be another part of her punishment. At least then something good might possibly come out of this. I'm not saying, there's just something about this that just bothers me, and I don't know what it is. All right, you guys have a great Christmas. I got more. I'll probably be back before the day's over with another video.